Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Pre-Order Bonus Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Cameron Warren, and I'm joined, as always, by the Pixel Professor, Jacob Antonio Price. It's January 29th, 2026, and last time I said 2025, so if you caught that, let me know. I was listening to last week's episode, which, by the way, is now on YouTube, youtube.com/preordercast or preorder bonus pod or something along those lines. We're back on YouTube, folks. It only took 5 years. We're back on, podcasts are going to be on YouTube from now on. Doesn't change any of our other channels. So if you like to catch us in your earbuds instead, you can always stay on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever your podcasts are caught. Jake, a video game came out this week called High Guard. Did you have a chance to play it?
I did not have a chance to play High Guard. Honestly, and you know what's kind of wild is I've kind of seen nothing on it except for like within the first 2 or 3 hours that it launched. So I'm a little worried, maybe. It's usually... No news is bad news, right? That's usually how it goes.
I think people have been talking about it. It's definitely like the streamers hit it pretty hard that first day. I think all the main pundits have been talking about it. I think everybody kind of gave it a shot day one. It got absolutely destroyed on Steam, but most of those were in bad faith, as always. Dude, I have a new mission in life and on this podcast.
Let's hear it.
And that is to destroy negativity in the video game community. I'm sick of it, dude.
I fully support this.
I can't stand it. It is a plague on video games. People don't realize that There's literally a huge crowd of people, specifically in video games, that live on the internet just to tear down any video game that comes out ever. Yeah. And that's all they do. That's their entire personality. And it's rage baited by content creators who literally just their entire content, because this is how they make money, is they just rage bait people into like hating video games for whatever reason they could find.
It's so odd, and it's odd because this doesn't really exist in other spheres. I mean, it does maybe, but in different capacities. I kind of think what sets it apart in video games is that a lot of people grew up with video games and the internet simultaneously, and the internet as like this public forum, but they have no, I guess, actual social training and how to be like normal on the internet, and so they aren't. But also, I mean, if you're making money off of it, it's like, okay, let me just completely destroy this thing after I've come into it with all the prejudice in the world and I've interacted it with 15 minutes for 15 minutes on its own terms.
There's a way to be critical without being disrespectful.
Yeah.
And normal average gamer bros can't do it. They just have to crap all over everything that's not, whatever their most beloved franchise is. And the thing that they don't realize is that by hurting every game, you're just hurting the games that you're hurting you're I don't know. You're just stop.
You're a plague.
You're just a plague on society. Yeah, no one wants to hear you anymore. I'm done. I'm sick of it. I don't. Yeah. I literally block anybody, especially creator people. I've been back on Twitter lately, sadly, nice. Because not even really for video game reasons, more for job reasons, because the job that I'm in requires a really high level of visibility into kind of the most current ongoings. And unfortunately, Twitter is the place where most of that information is coming from, that stream of consciousness. But, dude, it's exhausting. It is freaking exhausting. So anyway, long story short, High Guard came out. It's this new shooter from some former Apex devs. It was shadow dropped. They kind of did everything in one day. It kind of came out that the Game Awards, Jeff specifically like gave them the slot for free, that like final slot at the Game
Yeah.
Awards. So that was kind of controversial because I think spots like that usually cost like a couple $1,000,000 or something. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, dude, this game is already. I mean, I think it's doing okay, but it's just got a lot of problems. Like it seemed like it needed time to cook, and it needed to maybe to like go on early access. Dude, I just don't. Dude, the day of Apex is the only game that I think is successfully shadow dropped. Apex
Yeah.
and what's the what's that other Xbox game?
Uh,
What's that game called? The music beat 'em up, like beat 'em up on the beat.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush and Apex are the only successful shadow drops that ever have occurred. I'm probably missing a couple, but I just, dude, a shooter in 2025, now 2026, just don't think you can do it, dude. I think you have to be in early access and you have to get like endless feedback from the community, literally ad nauseum feedback, or you're just gonna die.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be willing to give it a try. It's a free to play game, and it's one that you can play with friends, right? I read one synopsis of it that
Yeah, I would
I
try it
can't
too.
remember.
I haven't.
Right, like, sure, I'd give it a try. No, but I read one synopsis. I was like, hey, this game is pretty fun. It's really good, but it's not enough to draw people away from games they've been playing for years that are similar. And the comparison they made was with Overwatch. It's like, hey,
Mm,
Overwatch players would probably really
yeah,
enjoy High Guard. They have digital libraries that they've accumulated there. They've dumped tons of money into that game over the past X amount of years. How do you convince them to suddenly jump ship into this brand new game? And I'm with you where it's like, ooh, I don't know, man. Apex was able to pull it off because I think the playing field was a lot smaller. You had a lot just less players on there. I think Hi-Fi Rush was able to pull it off because this was a time where I think Xbox was doing pretty well and it was day one Game Pass.
yeah.
And I think and so there was just like much easier access points into those games versus High Guard. I did read Cameron, did you see this? I think somebody from one of the leads at High Guard was really, I guess, unsure if they should accept the Game Awards slot
Mm-hmm.
and maybe even regretted it, thinking that, oh shoot, because it got announced at the Game Awards, there was hype and prejudice, built before the game came out, and they
Mm-hmm.
kind of wish that they just would have shadow dropped it. Um, and
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, do you think that would have worked better for High
Yeah.
Guard?
I mean, probably. Yeah, probably. Like if you were gonna do the shadow drop, like you probably should have committed. Like it would. I don't think it really did any. I don't think the Game Awards really did anything for him. If anything, it just made people go like, "Oh, what's that game? It kind of looks weird. Like you're on a horse, Like it." So, it's like, how do you market a game now? I don't even know. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know anymore. I don't think anyone knows anymore. But to that point though, it is a good point. Like we know that is a given fact that people will not stray from their mainstay video games. Like there's four games that just own the market, and people just don't stop playing them ever,
Yeah.
which is just absolutely insane to me, dude. Like I cannot, I cannot relate to that at all. I don't think I have a single game that I
Yeah.
play on repeat. Like my brain cannot do it. It's just I can't handle it. I understand like that's how a lot of people play video games for sure.
Yeah.
I am not one of them at all.
Yeah, it's pretty bonkers. I agree. I just think yeah, I got off that train a long time ago, and every time I see somebody, talk up like Genshin Impact or like Final Fantasy 14 or like, hey, this new expansion is coming out to this live service game, I usually will watch a trailer and I'm like, yeah, that looks cool. But I know I'm not gonna put more than 30 minutes into that. I just like physically can't at this point, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I actually, on a different note, so No Rest for the Wicked If you're familiar with
Yeah.
this, Jake. This is a third-person Souls-like action adventure game from the creators of the Moon, the Ori, and the Blind Forest, Will o' the Wisps games.
Yeah.
It's been in early access for like 3 years. I want to say 2 years,
Yeah.
2.5. They just came out with a co-op mode. We tried to play with the buds last weekend, but that game still has a long dude. I would think so. I actually played a decent chunk of the campaign when it first came out and had a lot of fun with
Yeah.
it, and was like, okay, it's definitely not content complete. I'm going to come back when it's actually got it fleshed out. So I was excited to come back for the co-op. Even at that time, the optimization was really poor. Like this thing chugged super
Yeah.
bad. So our buddy Rob jumped on, who has like a 3070 Ti, and he could not get the game to run.
What? Really?
Yes, it was nuts. So I don't know what's to do. I thought by now they would have the optimization figured out, but unfortunately, I'm hoping they drop some big patch because I would really love to play more of the co-op, but it's just not
Yeah.
working.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. I guess coming back to High Guard, like I wish the devs best of success. I hope that they get like a dedicated community. But yeah, I don't know how you do that. It maybe this is a little bit of a cynical take, but it just I think you kind of gotta wait for something to for the cracks to show and
Dude,
so the foundations to crumble on some of these big pillars.
I'm just gonna be honest. I think you just stop making multiplayer games if you're a gaming company. Just just forget it.
Wholesale.
Just forget it.
Let it
Like
crap.
it's a losing game battle. It's a losing game. And the gamers and the people have voted with their wallets and with their voice. They've said we only play these 4 multiplayer games, and anything else outside of that we don't care about. Our creators is the exception to the rule. The exception that proves the rule.
Yeah, Arc Raiders is definitely an exception there. Listen. I know this game isn't going to shake things up when it comes to the broader multiplayer scene. I am excited for Kiln, the Double Fine game that's coming.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
that's not exactly going for that market though, right? Like
it's not
it's like a
going for that
party game
market, right?
market. Yeah.
Yeah, much more of like a party game.
Yeah.
And we already mentioned this before. I really hope that game is a local co-op. I think that
Oh, it's
um,
gotta. Come on.
if that game is, right now marketed online multiplayer party game madness, but if it had that, and I don't know, I guess it's the point that I'm trying to get to, is that multiplayer games I feel like still have, a shot at home,
At
just
home.
not
Yeah, yeah.
online. You know what I mean? Like on
Mhm.
the couch, I think multiplayer games can still be this really cool thing. I think we're even seeing that in a weird way with games like Split Fiction and It Takes Two. Um, that studio, I'm blanking on their name right now, but the Joseph Fares, crew over there, those games sell incredibly well. They do very, very
Yeah.
well. I think before Split Fiction launched, they said It Takes Two had sold at least like 10 million copies or something. It's like, who's their competition? I want competition there.
Me too, bro. I'm always looking for new co-op games to play with my kids. New like co-op party games. We even bought Lego Party last year, which is fun. I mean,
Oh, nice.
it ain't no Mario Party, but it's cool.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, yeah. No, I totally agree with you. Yeah, it's just a losing battle. I think that these companies have, they want to make multiplayer games and they want it to be successful, and I understand that. It's not, but dude, man, it would just be hard, so hard to be a developer on one of these projects and feel like you even have a chance to be successful versus like the mainstays in the market. Even Battlefield 6, like, I mean, it was successful at launch, but it's not maintaining the momentum. I guarantee you that they're disappointed with it in terms of like the
Yeah.
numbers, the active numbers. So,
Yeah.
and that was a huge game with like years of testing, and then Arc Raiders kind of ate its lunch. Arc Raiders kind of just won the lottery.
Yeah.
We'll see if that game. Helldivers, I guess, is maybe another exception, but
Yeah. So it's possible, right? But even games like Helldivers 2 and Arc Raiders, they aren't doing the same numbers as Fortnite, Roblox, Minecraft.
Correct. They're not even in the same stratosphere. They're just like enough to be successful,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
successful like enough to keep the studio open.
Yeah, exactly, which is bleak. But
Yeah.
we're happy that they're able to
Like
keep
I,
running and doing things.
I don't think anyone's getting rich, but they're keeping the studio open. So now they could get rich if a big company comes and buys them, and then they get rich. But they're probably not, because then you just have to sink all that money back into the game just to make the game bigger, and keep.
Epic is working on a rip-off mode of Arc Raiders right as we speak for Fortnite.
Yeah, I mean they absolutely could too.
Yeah.
Arc Raid is good. I fell off it super hard. I just lost interest in. I'm on a real-time strategy kick right now, Jake.
Ooh, have you tried Beyond All Reason?
So I booted it up.
Okay.
And I turned it off. But if you wanted to play multiplayer, I'd be down. I do have it installed still.
Okay. For context, Beyond All Reason is a guy in my neighborhood who hosts LAN parties every now and then. He suggested this game, and I played it at his place with a few people, and I really liked it. I think it's the closest thing you're going to get to Red Alert in a modern, framework.
So there is a game that is a modern Red Alert that came out last year, I want to say, or maybe the year before. It's called Tempest Rising, and it's like it's like $30 on Steam. It is a true Command and Conquer spiritual successor that has some modern sensibilities to it. I played about 2 hours of it and decided that I'd rather just play like the older games, because it's good. I'm not gonna say like it is good, but it didn't do enough like new stuff to hook me in, right? It was like the way those kind of games that harken back to, they're like the spiritual successor games. Like they need to do enough new stuff combined with the old stuff to make you like get the hooks in, and it just didn't. It was like too much of the old. So I was like, I'll just go play like Red Alert 2 again, if I'm gonna play this. What I have been playing more of, though, that I do think is awesome is the Age of Mythology Retold, which is on Game Pass, which is great. It looks amazing. The animations are incredible. It's got like a huge campaign in it too that you can just mess around in. It also plays really well on console, ironically now. Like it's totally console optimized. So
that's huge, man. I think it's huge when they can pull something like that off.
Yeah, you can just they have automations now for like the villagers, so you can just click a button and then it automatically go to like the resource allocations that you put.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's cool. That's cool. Anyway, I've been wanting to do some multiplayer. I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but Company of Heroes 3 is also really good. Really fantastic, especially in multiplayer. There's tons of replayability variety there. That's like a really good. And this year, you know what I forgot? I freaking forgot to mention in our most anticipated games of 2026 is we're getting a Warhammer Dawn of War 4 real-time strategy game, a new one.
Oh, right. Is that the one that looks absolutely bonkers?
Yes.
Like impossibly...
Looks so not only I don't think we're gonna get the Total War one, but we are gonna Warhammer 40K. Yeah, it's Dawn of War 4, which is a sequel to the real-time strategy game that was really good when it came out like years and years ago, and this is like a modern one, and it looks great. I mean, it just looks fantastic, and it's from the same company that makes Company of Heroes.
That's a cool thing about these RTS games that we're talking. Like, I'm not super well versed in them, but all the new ones I see, they're gorgeous, man. They look great. They got extremely cool animations. Like, every time I watch one of those trailers, I'm always like, ooh, man. It sits in my brain for a little bit, and I'm like, ooh, is this something that I want to try? This looks really good. They just look fantastic.
That being said, Warhammer 40K, Total War Warhammer 40K is insane. That's a crazy announcement. I mean,
Yeah.
that is gonna burn some computers up, bro. With
Yes,
the
it will.
number, I don't think this makes it this year though. I think this is a 2027 for sure.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to our topic of today's show, which is a little bit of a throwback. Short indie game. Jake recently played this on stream, twitch.tv/chiptip18. Choo-Choo Charles. This was an indie sort of hidden gem hit that a lot of people maybe haven't played. Jake and I played this. Jake, how are we going to break it down?
We're going to be talking about Choo-Choo Charles in our classic 3 categories. The first one will be the narrative. So we'll be talking about this story here. Second, we'll be talking about game design. And third, we'll be talking about impact on the industry. And yeah, let's start with this narrative. Oh my gosh, dude.
Dude, I had to go back and because I'm just gonna read this little. So
Just read just read the description.
the player, some of this is probably going to be spoilery, but the game,
It's honestly, it's okay.
the
I
player
think.
controls an unnamed, this is from Wikipedia, player controls an unnamed archivist and monster hunter, simply known as the Archivist, who is summoned to the island of Aranirum by their friend Eugene
Sorry.
to help deal with Charles, a man-eating locomotive spider monster who has been terrorizing the island. Upon arrival, Charles attacks him and kills Eugene, but not before he tells the Archivist to find Charles' eggs, which they can use to summon and fight Charles, and give them a train mounted with a machine gun to traverse the island and fend off Charles. Anyway, then there's a whole thing with like the train or the mine owner, and he's wants because he wants to take over the island. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, this is a crazy story. Crazy.
Yeah, this is just pure, horror camp through and through. The more I got into this game, the more I was just like, okay, this feels like the dev was like, all right, buds, let's get together. I need you to read these voice lines in the craziest way possible. And I mean, you nailed the story. I mean, that's a good synopsis that you pulled from Wikipedia. Basically, you are summoned as somebody who like knows how to deal with monsters.
So this is. Let me just ask this question. As I was playing the game and I was shooting rockets at this This is like it's not anthropomorphic. It's, what's the word for a machine mixed with an animal?
It's like a cyborg of sorts, right?
A cyborg.
But I mean,
cyborg is a machine. Okay, I'm looking this up. Hold on. Go ahead.
cyborg doesn't have to be fused with a human, right? So this is I think in game somebody calls it half spider, half demon from hell. Giga demon from hell maybe is the exact verbiage. Like, Charles is, I mean, it's Thomas the Tank Engine painted red with a scary face and spider legs. And so, unfortunately, in the game, you don't really have an opportunity to perform a biopsy and really get into the anatomy of Choo-Choo Charles. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Anthropomorphic.
Anthropomorphic?
Oh wait, no. Theriomorphic. So it's a theriomorphic train. That's a cool word.
That's a great word.
Theriomorph. A theriomorph.
Having an animal form. I like this because I have it pulled up now, and the context that I'm seeing it is like a god having an animal form, and I'm like, maybe that does work.
Choo-Choo
for
Charles
Choo-Choo Charles
is a god. Dude. Yeah, this game's crazy. I don't even, like, the narrative starts off kind of interesting, but then I feel like quickly devolves into just go talk to the people as quickly as you can to just like get to the next part of the the narrative.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's like side quests and there's like little notes that you can find that to kind of reveal some of the mystery of the island and like this like evil mining company that's like secretly in on it and wants Choo-Choo Charles to like so they can have control. Anyway, it's I don't know, like how much narrative is there really here, Jake? It's like it's just kind of in service of the horror fantasy, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's very much like, hey, we have this crazy idea for something, a Thomas the Tank Engine with spider legs. How do we try to put a story on this? I think my favorite parts narratively are just like the absolutely bonkers, totally off the rails, pun intended, because this is a train-based game.
Yes.
NPCs that you meet. So,
Mm-hmm.
for example, Pickle Lady.
Yeah.
This is a lady who's obsessed with pickles. And what's the side quest? Retrieve a jar of pickles because she ran out of pickles.
Yep.
And so you go into a cave and you find a box, and sure enough, her last jar of pickles is in there. You bring it back, and she's over the moon about it.
She's over the moon.
And then there's like somebody else who's like, I started making this rocket launcher to get revenge on the mining company because I hate their guts. I want to kill them all. But if you get the rocket launcher, I'll let you use it. And you're like, okay, so there's just like a bunch of murderous psychopaths and pickle-obsessed people on this island. And that's it, right? I mean, I feel like these little asides, these NPCs, they're really written just to make you laugh and to make you do things, right? Just what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
So while I wasn't moved and I haven't had a massive shift in my worldview playing Choo-Choo Charles, I sure had a good time,
Absolutely. And the fact that it's so short is like such a win, Like, dude, I feel like you can get away with so much as a game if you're short. Although this game, my goodness, this game has a 56 out of 100 on Metacritic. No way.
Okay, but here's the deal. So I have the Steam page open right now.
Yeah.
For English reviews, it's very positive at nearly 11,000
Yeah,
reviews.
it's a lot. It's pretty big. Yeah, I think it's sold well. This game is well known, I think, in the like indie space.
Well, here's part of the reason why Choo-Choo Charles was put back on my radar.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember when it came out, there were a few articles that came out about it as just like this absolutely bonkers game, which it totally is, right? And so it had its moment then. But the crazy thing is that over the holiday break, one of my kids mentioned Choo-Choo Charles.
Oh.
Like as a video game that at their school that kids were talking about. I was like, hold on a second.
That's mainstream, bro.
I was like, these kids at my kids' school, they're playing Zelda, Roblox, Minecraft, and Fortnite. And I was like, how on earth did Choo-Choo Charles kind of get into this conversation? And so honestly, I think what happened is like some other, kid's parent was just like really likes indie horror games. And this started like as a playground rumor of like, ooh, Choo-Choo Charles, a creepy train thing. And I think because it's based off of Thomas the Tank Engine, it's kind of a way for like older kids at elementary school to be like, ooh, but what if this thing is actually a creepy, horrible monster? Like, like to kind of be like, how kids are. They're just like weird in how they tease each other about scary things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I think just at my kid's school that just happened to be Choo-Choo Charles. And so I was just like, okay, I have to play this game now if this is a game that my kids are talking about. Like I have to like
yes, you do.
I have to figure out like why on earth like kids are talking about this. I actually kind of think one of my kids would really like this game. The other one would be scared for sure.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if did you play it on Xbox or PC?
So I played this on PC. I was actually gifted this from one of our listeners.
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, listeners. We have another game from our listeners that we still need to play. I haven't forgotten about it. I haven't forgotten about it.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Hopple. Yeah.
To Hopple. Wait, didn't we get another one though
we have really generous
from
listeners.
Ruse? Stop giving us games. Then we have to play them.
Choo-Choo Charles is available on all platforms. I was extremely tempted to buy it on another platform, actually. But it might be a lot scarier on the TV for my kids,
I believe it's Ruse who gifted us the Lord of the Rings Mines of Moria game. Shout out. We're gonna play that soon.
We are. That was
I've actually
awful.
started it and it was cool, but then life got in the way.
And I need to do the tutorial, so that part of that's on me.
Choo-Choo Charles. Okay, so here's where I think so all the train stuff. So just describe like basic gameplay. It's first person. You run around. You click on scraps to pick them up. You click on people to talk to them. You click on things to talk to, and then you control a train backward, forward, stop. You can upgrade your train with like the scraps to make the guns more powerful and to make the armor higher and then to make it faster. And then there's quests that give you like additional weapons to fight Charles, obviously. And that's pretty much it. Now, here's the thing that really bothered me about this game.
Yeah.
I think it all worked pretty well, but side quests where you just have to run around like the cultist,
Yes.
dude, come on, man. Like, implement some kind of just even the bare minimum stealth system, dude. Like the bare like
Yeah.
this part of the game just made absolutely no sense. Like, it made no sense to me. This was just straight up. I'm not gonna design anything around this. I'm just gonna. I don't know. It was weird. It was a really strange decision because I feel like everything else was like, oh yeah, this like works pretty well, and like it's got cool ambiance and it's like a cool horror idea. And then you're actually confused when you first start the game because you're going to do a side quest and you're like, how do I avoid like these cultists? Like, can I hide? Can I like attack them? And then you realize, no, like you can't.
No.
You just have to like run.
Dude, I'll be totally frank. The stealth portion of this game sucks. It blows chunks.
It
Put
sucks.
In vernacular of my children, right? But like, I agree with you. Like the train combat, I found surprisingly engaging.
Yeah, 100%.
I love this idea of like, you're out in the train and you go forward or backward, and you have to exit your train to flip like the rail switch to go on different paths.
Mm-hmm.
And what I loved about that is that because it's a train and when you hit the brake, it takes a while to stop. And so there always is this tiny moment of tension. You like get out of the train, you're like, oh, if Charles is nearby, I'm screwed. So you like book it to hit the train switch and then you book it to go back, And then the actual combat with Charles chasing you and you're in the back part of the train engine with a gun, just like blasting Choo-Choo Charles like it's a carnival shooting gallery. Like, that was a good time. I was pretty on
Oh
board
yeah,
with that.
dude. It's fun. I'm like, dude, train combat? Like, how has nobody made like a legit, fully blown like train combat game where you can like
Yeah,
upgrade your train and like go bonkers with it?
but like it works as a first-person shooter super well, right?
Yeah.
The stealth was freaking awful though. I mean, I had the same experience. The game like it gives you this tiny like note that you can like when you're behind something you like peek around a corner. But okay, hold on. It's been a while since I'm rarely negative about this game. I have a laundry list of issues that I have with this stealth. And number one is I don't even think you can crouch.
You
Like
can't.
the most basic stealth
Dude.
maneuver.
Uh,
You can't even crouch, right? And then you can peek around a corner, but it's like cumbersome on the controls. And guess what? These cultists could hear a pin drop 3 miles away. Like if you were their cone of vision is massive and
Yep.
they are relentless.
Yep.
They will keep like they're rare. I don't know what their tether is, but they will chase you forever. And so you can't hide. The cultists will spot you every time. They got guns. You got squat. Like you can't even do the basic let me chuck something to distract these guys, right? I was actually as I was playing the game, I was like, dude, freaking give me a gun.
Yes.
I don't care if this is
Dude.
the worst pistol on the planet. If it's I have to reload every single shot, I freaking don't care. But I need something to either like just deal with these scenarios because every time I had to deal with a cultist, it turned into sprint, try to find the thing. If I'm lucky and I find the thing, sprint and get out, or find another way away from these cultists. But even then, you sprint to your train, you have to hit go, and then you're back at your gun, mowing down the cultists who just will not stop chasing you. Like, yeah, this I was like you, I was shocked. I was like, how is it that you can have train combat feel pretty dang good, and then the stealth was just like, it's a sprint
We're
fest.
not doing
Enjoy.
anything. Yeah, we didn't do
Yeah,
anything with the stealth at all.
throw me up a
If
wall.
the developer of this game makes this, I'm not shy about saying like, what were you thinking, bro? Like you had something really cool here. You just needed to give us like a shotgun or something.
Oh, I would have for anything, dude. Giving me a knife, even
A
like
knife, a stump, like
a stump.
a stump to slap dudes. And the
Yeah,
combat
give me a
system, you didn't even need to change it. Just let us like whack them, and the health goes down. Like that's it.
Give me a baseball card to inflict paper cuts. Like I would have freaking taken anything
And
in those sections.
I think from a development standpoint, giving us a gun because you already have gun combat like implemented into the game, right? So like just give us a gun that we can shoot at people would have been
Yeah,
easier than implementing a stealth system, right?
yeah.
Probably.
I was shocked. I don't know. I couldn't at first. I was like, oh, is my character supposed to be kind of pacifist? And then as soon as I shot the first cultist from the train, I was like, if they are, they aren't anymore. Because these guys are wild. So anyway, like if a sequel to come were to come from this game, it'd be like, okay, give me, yeah, sure, add a few things to the train combat, but don't really mess with that. But man, build from scratch something to do when I'm off the train.
Yeah. Well, Jake, anything else to say about the gameplay loop? I think we talked through. I mean, it's really is a pretty simple game, and it's a short game. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's upgrading your train. I think there's some. I think where the nuances perhaps is in like. I think you mentioned this when we were talking about it. Is there is a teeny bit of skill I think to the combat and kind of like switching weapons, and then you probably have to do enough of the side quests and find enough scraps to upgrade your train enough, probably like for the final encounter. Probably
Yeah.
that's like kind of most of this quote unquote like skill work that you have to do. But I mean, other than that, it's just kind of shoot the train in kind of a cool vibes environment, and it's just like a short experience. So
Yeah,
um,
I think all I would add is that I thought the island was at first when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, this is kind of big." But I mean, you get around pretty quickly with the train. I think just kind of the design of navigating the world in the train, where the train switches are, and the different kind of little loops that you would go on as you're finding different NPCs. I
yeah.
thought that all worked pretty dang well. I also liked that there was like an indicator you'd hear like the evil version of a train whistle if Charles
Oh
is
yeah.
somewhat
Yeah.
nearby.
Yep.
So I like the audio design, like in those little instances. I think I found out that you can pull your own train whistle if Charles is nearby to summon him, just to you. And
Oh.
then so I mean, I thought it was cool when like if I spotted him in the distance and then the music kicked in, meaning that he saw me,
hmm
that he would just. I liked watching him scuttle over towards the back of the train, and you just could engage in this interesting fight. I don't know. I mean, so I guess the last thing I want to say here is I thought like the world design and like getting around the island was pretty good for what it was offering. Um, and yeah, I mean the game really is just a bunch of fetch quests to get enough scrap to level up your train so you
Yeah.
can withstand attacks and deal out decent damage.
Yeah.
But because the game is short and the world is pretty easy to traverse, like it never really felt bad or stale.
Agreed. And it didn't overstay its welcome. Jake,
Yeah.
let's move on to impact on the industry. Obviously, this game has been out for a while already, so we're probably a bit late to this conversation. But let's talk about short games.
Yeah.
We played one of my favorites from last year, the Cabin. What's the Cabin game?
The Cabin Factory.
The Cabin Factory. That's a really short game. You have this one. You have a short hike, which is incredible. Probably maybe one of the best short games out there.
hmm
Um, we need more of these. 100%.
Yeah.
Untitled Goose
Yeah.
Game is out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Short games, I think, are a win.
I guess Outer
Um,
Wilds is technically a short game. That's infamous on this. Should we bring up Outer Wilds, Jake? Jake, is this the year that we've played Outer Wilds?
oh man, I don't know if I got it in me to give that one another try, to be honest. And it's almost at the point where it's kind of a badge of honor. At first, it was a badge of shame. I feel like
Yeah,
to
it
know
is
a
a
lot of
badge
like
of. Yeah.
to know like a bunch of content creators who like really love or just people are super passionate about the Outer Wilds. It is kind of a badge of shame to be like, I'm sorry, I could not get into that game despite the many attempts I made for
I
it. I
agree.
this year's turned into a badge of honor though, kind of like, yeah, well, I didn't like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now I
So
just kind
what?
of try to wear it with pride,
Come at me, bro. Come at me. We didn't play Outer Wilds. Come at me.
Yeah.
Tear down this podcast if you want. No. Dude, yeah, no, short games are awesome. I wish more games were short. It would be so cool if more games were short. Like and I even will expand short to include short AAA, which includes like
Yeah.
10 to 12 hour experiences. The best example of that being Spider-Man Miles Morales, which
That's on my list this
in
year.
my opinion is better than the base Spider-Man game, has a more impactful story that doesn't overstay its welcome precisely because it's short. It's just such a sweet short
Yeah.
package, and I don't know, I just love that. And yeah, I mean, obviously when you beat a game that's good, you want more of it, and you're like, but it's kind of the satisfaction of ending something on a high. Like
Yeah.
it's better to end something when you're not sick of it yet. You're at the height of its enjoyment, and then it's over. The memory of that, I think, holds really, really strong in your psychology. It's like one of the strategies you're supposed to use. So, like, my kids are, and your kids are as well, like, starting to get into sports and like playing a lot more sports, and like I'm trying to help them like get better. And one of the strategies as a parent coach is whenever you practice, you always stop way before they get tired, way before they
Yeah.
like at the height of the fun, you stop playing. So then they kind of left with that feeling inside. I think the same thing applies to like short video games.
Yeah, I mean, I can think of a lot of games that fall between like 8 and 12 hours that just, I think they just wrapped up really neatly, whatever it was they set out to do. I feel like we've been mentioning this a lot more recently, but Cameron and I were big fans of the Plague Tale games. And
Yes.
those ones, they're going to clock in between 8 and 12 hours, and it just feels
It's a
really
sweet
great.
spot. Yeah, man.
It's a great, time frame for games. I just wrapped up the game, Karen, that I wrote a review for so many games. Please check it out. But that I think it's supposed to be about 15 hours. I managed to beat it in like closer between 12 and 13 hours, and I think that was the perfect length for that game. Um, but yeah, just to add another example while trying to get you to read my review too, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like a game like Choo-Choo Charles and like The Cabin Factory, these like short indie horror games that are probably about 3 hours. I
Mm-hmm.
think both of those games, they have this great idea, and for Choo-Choo Charles, that's like train combat, first person shooter train combat in a horror setting.
Yeah.
Um, it does it really well. It doesn't, try to squeeze every single penny out of that concept.
Mm-hmm.
And when the concept is done being fun, the game wraps up. And
It's
so, yeah, the
perfect.
Cabin Factory, similar thing, right? Where it's like, as soon as the concept of like inspecting all of these cabins for ghosts is up, the game's over. And yeah, like you're saying, you can walk away with that high. Um, I did want to kind of shift gears a little bit in this category just to say, like, with a game like Choo Choo Charles, so Choo Choo Charles came out in 2022. So I have here December 9th, 2022. I just feel like the indie landscape in that 3+ years since this game has come out has changed drastically.
Yeah.
Choo, you know, Choo Choo Charles, I think, was a viral hit because it felt really gimmicky. But while there are no Choo Choo Charles likes, and we're not using that terminology,
Mm-hmm.
I think trying to come up with trying to come up with an indie horror kind of gimmick game might not be. I shouldn't say it's not difficult, but at this point in 2026, it almost feels like it's a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
And it's that much harder, I think, for a game like this to hit that viral status.
Yeah, 100%. It's hard to. I mean, this is a great. I think I learned about this game like on Instagram, probably.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, it's because it's more saturated now. It's more saturated than it's ever been.
Yeah.
But it's always fun to see these types of games crack, because these are the games that like fill those little cracks during the year in between stuff coming out. If one of these can sneak through, it's always just like a satisfying thing to just stumble upon some indie gem. I think my best find for us in that sense was like the Gator game, Little Gator game. It just happened to be the one game that like you hadn't been aware of. And I was like, I got you one time. Jake's usually telling me the games that I need to play, like the small indie games. Although I do look pretty much weekly at the Steam upcoming like popular, and they do a pretty good job about surfacing like gems that are peaking to the top. So I'll always go look, and if something peaks there, then I'll go check it out. But yeah, it is harder now than ever. But yeah, hopefully there's more of these in the near future.
Yeah, would love to see always more games like this, more success stories. If your game on Steam has over 10,000 reviews, what that says to me is that this game did really well. Because I feel
absolutely.
like the rate or number of people who buy a game like it and write a Steam review is actually pretty low.
Yep.
It's something that devs beg you to do, because to hit that 500 like overwhelmingly positive mark is a huge milestone and boost for the algorithm on Steam.
Huge.
So if a game like this has over 10,000, and even if it's very positive, like that means this game did well, and so that's the thing is there are enough players, especially in the indie space, to make successes out of these games that are much lower budget and lower scope than AAA games. It takes, I guess the point I want to get at here is like it takes less players to make a game like this super successful.
Yes.
But to actually get that many players to find your game, I feel like is harder than ever.
Yeah, 100%. If I was a solo developer who wanted to try to make a game, this is 100% the type of game that I would be wanting to make. I would, in fact, if I had decided to ever make a game, especially in the age of like Claude code and, the ability to kind of express your creativity a lot easier, although I'm not a good artist, so I could never do this, but in a pipe dream, I'd be exclusively focusing on like making kind of these small experiences. So they're cool. Keep making them.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the Pre-Order Bonus podcast, talking Choo-Choo Charles. We have a pretty packed schedule coming up. Tune in next week. I can't open this without messing up the Discord because we're on YouTube now. Jake, what's our next game that we're talking about?
We'll be talking about Cairn, and we will also be talking about. Yeah, I'm really excited for that episode because I have a lot of thoughts, and I think it'll be fun to talk them out, instead of just write them out. We also, I was going to say this at the beginning of our episode, I forgot to though. I started Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, because that's on our radar as well.
Oh, wonderful. Yes.
And man, I like it a lot, dude. It's
yeah.
It's the Game Kitchen, so the people who made Blasphemous 1 and 2, they were involved with this. I think they maybe co-developed it, and it might not have been them exclusively, but man, they've got this kind of game figured out, like the 2D side-scroller action combat game. Yeah, they've got it figured out, and so I played the first 3 or 4 levels of that and have been enjoying the heck out of it.
Yeah, so 2 really good ones, and Karen hopefully will be quick on the money. I need to buy that. So
We'll get it figured out.
so I can
We'll
actually
get that
start playing. Yes, please. Thank you so much for listening. Please leave a review on your podcast platform of choice. That helps people find the show, especially on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Find us on YouTube, as I already mentioned, youtube.com/ I believe. In fact, I'm going to look really quick to say this right. How do you even, no, that's not how it works. It's at pre-order bonus pod. Just type in pre-order bonus podcast. We'll pop up. We actually have some really old episodes and old videos that we made like way, way back when we were when we were trying to make like a run in YouTube, and they suck super bad. So if you want to have a laugh, go watch one of those. Anyways, but yeah, you'll find all of our new episodes this year are going to be on YouTube. So if you want to look at us on YouTube or put it on the background at work or whatever, you can go find us there. And finally, support us at patreon.com/preordercast. Go sign up at the tier that makes sense for you. Help support the show directly, and you get access to all of our extra content, which includes extended editions of our regular episodes and special topics episodes, of which one we will be recording today. So if you want access to that, join the Patreon. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great night.
All right, let's